Welcome everyone to the 2022 Epilepsy12 and Open UK National Epilepsy Conference. I'm Richard Brown, a paediatrician from Cambridge and the chair of Open UK, and I shall cast across to my colleague Colin Dunkley.
Hi everyone, nice to be with you. I'm Colin Dunkley, paediatrician based in Sherwood Forest Hospitals and Epilepsy12 clinical lead.
So we're very excited to bring to you today a really fulfilling program, we think, that will fertilize discussion around quality improvement in the epilepsies for the next year. And Nikki tells me that we have more than 600 people registered for today's conference. So that's particularly exciting, as that means that a very large proportion of those who are interested in improving the lives of children and young people with epilepsy are here with us today. So we're really, really grateful for that. I shall cast ahead a little bit to the program now, and then afterwards Colin will tell you a little bit about how the platform works, about how you can ask questions and some of the housekeeping issues for the conference. So as I think many of you will expect from me now, there will be very limited amounts of discussion around soup, which is our kind of Open UK thing, and there may be a later guest appearance from my dog, who is now a dog, not a puppy. So this is a bit of a sort of annual occurrence at the conference. I shall also be including a picture of the president of the British Paediatric Neurology Association wearing a unicorn headband. So for those of you that need an incentive to stay right till the very end, then Alistair Parker in full Twitter glory is coming. Now, we are part of a constellation of different teams and a sort of a networked group of expertise who are all trying to help improve the quality of epilepsy care in this country. And what we do within Open UK is that we always try to be informed by the voices of children and young people and informed by data. And so it is thus only fitting that we start today with the epilepsy youth advocates, who will be giving us their presentation, as they have at every Open UK and Epilepsy12 national conference. And we know that every year that is the bit of the whole conference that you all value the most. So we're really excited to welcome them back today, because they will shape our thinking for the next year. As I say, thinking about data is absolutely crucial to us, and we can't improve quality without measuring it. And so the team at Epilepsy12 do fantastic work in producing high quality and very usable data that we all need to be incorporating into our sort of work plans for our regional epilepsy networks. And so I'm very excited that Colin will be talking to us about Epilepsy12 later on. Now, I'll talk about this a little bit later on in my Open UK session, but this year has been a year of great change and great opportunity in terms of our involvement with NHS England, with improving the quality of care for children and young people with epilepsy within England. And Open UK is a four nations organisation, and it's absolutely crucial that we always hold in mind how are we going to improve the quality of care for children and young people in Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland. But we know that the principle of what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So by improving the quality of care in England, then our colleagues in Wales and Northern Ireland and Scotland tell us that this will drive improvements through the health boards and through the ministers. So we're going to hear today from Simon Kenny, the NHS England National Clinical Director for Children and Young People, and also his colleague Jaffa, who I have got to know very well over the last few weeks, chairing one of the working groups within the transformation process. And I'd just like to say to you all, I commend to you the hard work and incredible ability to assimilate enormous amounts of information very, very fast and to great effect that Jaffa has shown over the last few weeks and months, because he really has he has learnt the ropes, as it were, in epilepsy, diabetes, and asthma, with all of the national guidance that one needs to know in order to look after the national process. And he's really engaged with all of us in a really positive and helpful way. So I'm very excited that Jaffa will be speaking with us later on. I'd also like to cast ahead to the presentation that we're going to hear about sodium valproate. So it's really important that when we're thinking about how to approach quality standards in epilepsy in the UK, that we think about all facets of the argument about the how to protect the unborn child from the effects of fetal valproate syndrome, but also how we look after young women with epilepsy and make sure that their needs are met and that there isn't an impact on their quality of life of what we put into place through legislation and quality improvement processes. So I'm really very excited to hear that presentation, and I can tell you that we heard the valproate presentation at our regional epilepsy network, and it sparked some really positive and helpful discussion. And lastly, we'll be hearing from a diverse group who are all going to be telling us about their thoughts and fertilizing that discussion about how we can do better as a whole system in approaching the subject of sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, how we communicate risk, and how we can better protect children. So really excited to hear that, because within the for example, within the variation in care working group nationally, then we need to hear these arguments heard from experts and people who have expertise through experience to inform the standards that we construct. And then after that, I'll be telling you a little bit about what Open UK has been up to and how you can help. So I think that it's going to be a really fascinating conference, and I shall pass over to Colin to do his bit now. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks, Richard. It's quite nerve-wracking being alongside a Richard. I'm never quite sure what he's going to say. I can guarantee you no unicorns in my content. I'm just going to help you orientate a little bit into the afternoon just before I hand over to Emma and her team. So just so that you know how things work, if you're listening to us now, then you can pretty much relax, because the streaming should happen in front of you. So we're not having any breakout groups through the session today. So just sit back, and the content will be streamed to you. There'll be some planned breaks throughout the afternoon, which we'll introduce. You'll have noticed that there's a chat and Q&A function. So we'll keep an eye on the questions as we go through the afternoon, and hopefully there'll be some time for questions for the speakers as we go through. So feel free to use the chat and the question and answer functions within the platform. We're in a sort of weird virtual reality, and there's a little bit of delay. So when I'm speaking, I'm actually 15 seconds or so old by the time it reaches you. This shouldn't be noticeable to you, except when you're asking questions. So there's a slight delay when you put in a question between the speakers. Necessarily seeing that, so please bear with us. Almost certainly there'll be hiccups along the way, but bear with us, and we'll do our best to make us all feel connected. If you get stuck along the way, then you can say you get kicked out of or you find yourself outside the system and have any trouble, then feel free to email the Epilepsy12 team, or you can use that through the afternoon if you get stuck. But hopefully that won't be an issue for you. And then finally, just to say at the end, we're trying something new at the end of the session. So after we've closed the last session, the platform is opening up a virtual networking area, and this will give you the opportunity to drop in and experience the metaverse, and it's quite neat. You get to go in as yourself, you can join bubbles, have conversations with other people. There's some set tables in there where you can meet some of the speakers or poster presenters. Please take the opportunity of that and try to feel connected as you can in this weird universe. So that should pop up later in the afternoon on your platform as an option. And then also through the afternoon, there's posters you can look at. We've got 18 posters this year. We're really grateful for those. They're all citing amazing work, often at local level, and they're a product of people submitting to this conference, and also the EQUIP program is producing posters. So please take time to have a look at those, and when you're in the virtual networking bit, you can catch up with poster presenters if you would like. If you would like to. All the sessions are going to be available on video after today. They won't be available straight away, but a short period of time after we've finished today, we'll put videos up so you can watch everything on repeat or point other people to them. Okay, so that's the housekeeping.